Alrighty, YouTube, I'm back with part 2 of my Star Wars action figure variants video. So, I just did part 1 the other day on Wednesday, I think, just before Thanksgiving. And already since then, I've already found a couple more to get a little bit closer to completing my collection. So, I'm going to show off first the ones I just got. I actually got all these yesterday. So I will show those off first. If you noticed, if you watched part 1, I was missing the action figure for Star Wars 34. I was able to find it yesterday. So that's Star Wars number 34, the Han Solo Hoth outfit. So filled that gap in my collection really quick. That's nice. I also picked up Star Wars 38, which is the AT-AT driver. I really like that one. And also, I did not know that Star Wars 39 was out already, but apparently it was. So I picked up this one for Star Wars 39, the Imperial Commander. And then I also got this in the mail. This is John Tyler Christopher. He's the artist. This is his most recent exclusive from his website. Went on sale a couple weeks ago, and I ordered it. There's actually kind of a neat story about why he did this one. It's Snaggletooth. He calls it the blue Snaggletooth. And he wanted to do this one because this is apparently one of the rarest Kenner action figures that there is. And he explained in the email that he sent out to everyone on his email list announcing this cover that when Kenner was making the action figures, they were going off of black and white shots from the movie, from the original Star Wars movie. And they were doing a Cantina set, was one of their first sets. And Snaggletooth is seen in the Cantina in the original Star Wars movie. And from what they could tell from the black and white photos, they weren't sure how tall he was. So they just assumed he was as tall as all the other figures. And they guessed on the paint job and they made him blue. And so they started making, these blue, full-size action figures for Snaggletooth. And then someone realized that that's not right. Snaggletooth is actually really short, and he also wears a red suit. So they stopped production on the blue ones, and then what they did is they pretty much chopped off at the knees and put the feet onto the knees to make them shorter, and then they gave him a new red paint job. So he wanted to do this one to, kind of pay homage to that story. He really liked that story, so I think it's kind of fun. So there's that. All the exclusives he does for his website, I don't know if you can see that. He has JTC exclusive or variant edition up here on the sticker up on the top thing. So those are all the ones I got yesterday. So now I'm going to get into the rest of my collection that I didn't get to for part 1. So he started for the last 6 issues of the Darth Vader run, doing an action figure for the last couple issues of the Darth Vader 2015 run. And then, of course, he also did this one here. This is Darth Vader number 1 from 2015. So this isn't the most recent 2017 run. This is the first comic book I ever got signed. And I hadn't figured out grading yet when I got it signed. And then when I realized, it's also one of the first books I got graded. So when I wanted to start getting books graded, I wanted to get this one graded, but it was already signed. So part of the reason why we went to CBCS and why we've only used them is they have the verified signature program where they'll compare the signatures to known witnessed examples, as opposed to CGC where they'll just give you a green label and say, hey, someone wrote this name on the cover. But I really like to get it. I really like to get signed books graded, so I have essentially a certificate of authenticity for the signature. So this is Darth Vader #1. It's really hard to see. He signed it in black, which is the worst color to sign on this book, but he also did a little sketch of Darth Vader there. This is Kieran Gillen. He's the writer of this series. He's also writing the Dr. Aphra series, and he also moved over to the main Star Wars line now too. So yeah, so that's the first book I ever got signed, and then also one of the first ones I got graded as well. So that's fun to have. So continuing on with Darth Vader. I just misplaced one. What did I do with it? Oh, it's right here. Okay. So he did the Darth Vader #1, and then he didn't do any more for the Darth Vader series until Darth Vader #20. This 2015 run ended at issue 25, so he did the last couple. There, this is Inspector Thanoth. Is a character that's introduced in this series. He helps Darth Vader on his missions. So I think it's really kind of neat that he does new comic book characters in action figure form, so you can kind of see what they may have looked like as an action figure. I think that's kind of cool. Then he did Darth Vader 21, character named Toulon. I haven't read this series in a while. I want to go back and reread all these Star Wars series. So I'm blanking on her story, but she's another one introduced in the series that got her own action figure. Next is Darth Vader 22. This is Silo. He's like a cybernetics expert, I guess. So he was the one who, if I remember right, pretty much designed Darth Vader's limbs and his helmet and his whole new suit that he needed after the whole Mustafar incident. So he comes back in that story, so that's kind of neat. Next is Darth Vader 23. This is BT1, another character introduced in this series, and also shows up in the regularly in the Dr. Aphra series. It's a kind of a murder-hungry, very violent R2-D2 sort of character. So likes to shoot and blow things up. So there's that. Star Wars 24 is 000. This is BT1's counterpart. This is the C-3PO, I guess, of this storyline. So 000 is, again, another murder-hungry, violent boss. But I really like 000. He's really funny about it, so it's kind of really, sarcastic and, he's funny, but, he also likes to kill things and blow things up, just like BT1. So, yep, that's Darth Vader 24. Next is Darth Vader 25. This is Dr. Aphra. So, if any of you don't know, she's an archaeologist who helps Darth Vader out in this series. Introduced back in Darth Vader #3. So, this is the last issue of the 2015 Darth Vader run, so there's that. Now I've got an exclusive for Darth Vader 25. He did this for the store called Most Good Hobby. See up there in the corner, Most Good Hobby Edition. I guess it's a store in Florida, if I remember right. So this is General Tag. So John Tyler Christopher, or JTC, did this color one, and he also did a black and white version of this for Most Good Hobby. The color one is limited to 3,000. The black and white is 1,500 copies, I think, if I remember right. I don't have the black and white one yet, but last I checked, I think it's still on sale, so I might break down and get it sometime. So, and that's one of his store exclusives for Darth Vader 25. So that's one of the more rare ones, whereas the other ones would probably be pretty easy to find. So now I've got a couple for the Darth Maul run. So Darth Maul is one of my favorite Star Wars characters. So when he got his own miniseries, I had to get as many variants for that as I could. So this is I guess the standard action figure for Darth Maul #1. So that one's really cool. And then this one is an exclusive he did for Wonderworld Comics, which is, I think it's just like an online store in Michigan. He's done a couple of these like mail away or mail order action figure type things to pay homage to, in the past where you could mail in for action figures and get them in the mail like this. So it's a little bit different than, your typical action figure variant like any of these. But so yeah, Wonderworld has done a couple of these. I have 2 of the 4 they've done, so I think I'm missing. They did one for C-3PO #1 and then Vader Down #1. So I think I'm missing those 2. But I have this one. So that's Darth Maul #1, Wonderworld Comics. And then this is Darth Maul #1. This was his website exclusive. So I want to say the print run on this was 3,000. I don't exactly remember, but that's Darth Sidious. So really cool. This one would be fairly hard to find, but still not too terrible. So I'm glad to have that. Continuing on, this is Rogue One #1 for the Rogue One comic adaptation. So this is Jyn Erso. I like these new characters kind of getting the old action figure treatment here, so I like seeing that. So that's just like the standard action figure cover for Rogue One #1. And then he did an exclusive for Tate's Comics and Toys and More. I'm blanking on where the store is. I want to say it's in Florida as well. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, so this is an exclusive he did with Director Krennic for Rogue One #1. So had to have that. Nice addition, an exclusive, a little harder to find. Then he also did another one for Wonderworld Comics, like what I just showed with Darth Maul. So this is for Rogue One #1 as well. The Wonderworld Comics, so it has Jyn, the Stormtrooper, and then the just like a generic Death Star employee, I guess, officer. So that's fun. I kind of like the stamps. It's a Emperor Palpatine and Darth Vader stamp up there, so that's kind of fun. So now this is the current 2017 Darth Vader run. So this is Darth Vader #1 from the current ongoing Darth Vader series. So this is Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker before his suit, obviously. So this was just the standard action figure he did for this one. And then he also did an exclusive for his website for Darth Vader #1, which is just Anakin Skywalker. So this is the JTC.com variant edition. So kind of nice. I got a lot more exclusives in this video than the last one. So continuing on, this is another exclusive, the Mace Windu series. This is Mace Windu #1. This series is wrapping up somewhat, I think. So I think issue 4 is out. I don't remember where they're at with this one. But yep, so this is Mace Windu #1. This was a shared exclusive for a couple different stores. I think I got this one on the Comic Mint. So there's 3,000 copies of this. I really like Mace Windu as a character. I like the story of this series, but the interior artwork isn't much to, talk about. I don't really like the interior artwork as much. I really wish it was better because I really like Mace Windu as a character, but it's really nice to have this action figure as well. Continuing on, this is another website exclusive for his personal website, John Tyler Christopher. This is for the Cassian and K2SO #1. It was a one-shot comic that explained how Cassian and K2SO came, to be a duo. So how he reprogrammed K2SO. So kind of a neat little story to go along with Rogue One. But yeah, it's just a one-shot. So he did this one as an exclusive for his website. So really fun to have. I really liked K2SO and Rogue One, so really glad to have that. Next is Dr. Aphra #1. So Dr. Aphra was introduced in the 2015 Darth Vader run, and then was so popular they gave her own ongoing comic book series. So this is the first issue of that, and this is Black Chrysanthemum. He's a Wookiee bounty hunter that's introduced in the Darth Vader series and continues on into the Dr. Aphra series. So this right here, the Darth Vader #1 from 2015, is the first appearance of Black Chrysanthemum. So that's who that is. Next up is Han Solo #1. This is the Han Solo mini-series they did a while back. Han Solo in his Bespin outfit. This one was also, I believe, an exclusive to his website, John Taylor Christopher's website. I did not get it on his website. I got it at Denver Comic Con at a booth for a really good price, so I was missing it, so I picked it up. So that's an exclusive. I don't know the print run or anything like that, but it's fairly hard to find, so I was glad to find that, and for the price I found it, it was really good. So also for the Han Solo #1 for that Han Solo miniseries is this. This is the standard action figure cover, I guess. Han Solo in carbonite, pretty much, or before carbonite and then in carbonite, so kind of fun. Next is the C-3PO #1 one-shot that explained how C-3PO got his red arm in The Force Awakens. So that's the action figure for that. Like I said, I think Wonderworld did one of those mail-away covers for this as well, but I missed that one, so that's one I'm looking for. But yeah, it's just a standard one. Almost done, hang in there. Poe Dameron #1, the Poe Dameron X-Wing pilot, so this is one of the other ongoing Star Wars series right now. He also did a black and white version of this one. I don't know if that's an exclusive or anything, I don't have it, but it's fairly cheap, 10, 15 bucks maybe, from what I've seen, so I'm not worried about getting that one. So I'll get it eventually, but yeah, there's a black and white version of this as well. This is Obi-Wan and Anakin #1. was a mini-series, 5-issue mini-series they did, following Obi-Wan and Anakin through, or in between episode 1 and episode 2, so that's kind of fun. This is, I think, the only one where, you know, he adds something in between the Star and the Wars. I think they're all just, you know, the same Star Wars title like that, so that's where he adds, you know, the Phantom Menace in there. So, that's cool. Next is Lando #1. I see this is probably the action figure variant cover that I see the most. This one is everywhere. I don't know, they must have just done a really large print run, or I guess people just don't want it, but Lando's one of my favorite Star Wars characters as well, so I had a bunch of Lando covers, and I've got one that's off getting graded now that's signed by a certain someone, so I'm excited to get that one back eventually. That's an Alex Ross cover I got signed by certain someone, so. But yeah, so that's Lando #1. And then last but not least is Princess Leia for Leia #1. This is the first mini-series they did when Marvel started back up with the Star Wars books, so this is one of the first action figure covers I got. I think this was actually the first one I got, the Darth Vader one. And then this one. So, yeah, so that is all of the Star Wars action figure variant covers that I have right now. You know, it's constantly growing. You know, he keeps turning these out, so I'll keep getting them as long as I can. So, may end up doing a part 3 here in the future. You know, once I get a nice good stack built up too. So, anyway, so there's that. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you all had a happy Thanksgiving. I got a couple ideas for some future videos. I'm not sure when I'll get around to them. My brother Eric also has some ideas on videos to do on this channel as well. So I'm not sure when you guys will see the next video from us, but keep an eye out and hope you all enjoyed. If you haven't, you know, like, subscribe, do all that stuff. So yeah, so thanks for watching.